How to master small talk if you're an introvert so that people think you're an extrovert. So I remember I used to be really shy when I was younger, and I remember this one time in year 7, I was going to parent-teacher interviews with my mom, and we were doing an interview with my science teacher. During the interview, he suddenly asks me a question. I remember I literally, as soon as he asked me the question, I just stared at him like, literally like that. I literally just stared right at his face and didn't respond. And oh my gosh, I still remember that. One of the cringiest moments of my life. Like, that's the only reason I still remember it. And that's who I was back then, back when I was in year 7. Across the years, I've really improved my social skills so much that like most people I meet now think I'm like an extrovert, or they think I'm just naturally really confident, which I'm not. But the thing is, I've learned ways, research and practice techniques that have just made it so I seem this way. And so in this video, I'm just going to talk about them. Technique number 1 is just be relaxed. The thing that makes people fear small talk so much, or that makes social interaction so awkward for some people, is because when they do it, they're just so rushed with it. Hey, how are you? Oh yeah, good. Yeah, how are you? Oh, I'm good, thanks. Yeah, good. It is just so cringe. Like, I still do this sometimes, but when you get all nervous, that is when you suddenly your voice like goes super fast and you start talking really fast and you're not relaxed at all. That's just what makes it so like weird to have social interactions. When you're speaking so fast, you can't get anything across, and then that just makes the whole interaction just really awkward. That's why people fear it. When you're speaking fast, you're not thinking when you speak. When you're not thinking, you're not coming up with good responses, and then you're just talking fast. When you're relaxed, it's just so much easier. It's so much easier to pause and think. When you're having a really fast conversation saying yeah, and then suddenly it goes silent, that's when it's awkward. But if you're relaxed the whole time and you're taking time to think about your answers more and speaking more slowly, like suddenly pausing or like a sudden silence doesn't feel as awkward anymore, because it just feels natural, because you're not rushing trying to say everything all at once. The second tip is go in with a plan. And I know this may seem like very contradictory, because you're thinking, oh wait, but isn't this a video on how to just naturally get better? Like, I shouldn't need a plan. And the thing is, yeah, that's true, but with the best small talk interactions I've had, it's always been with the ones where I've kind of thought of what to say beforehand. I know that doesn't seem like the most Sigma thing, that doesn't seem like, you know, naturally confident, because you're coming up with a plan. It kind of feels like cheating, but who's gonna know? They're not gonna know. No one's gonna know you're coming up with a plan in your head. Come up with a plan, but then plan to say it naturally so that they think you didn't say it with a plan. They think you're just naturally saying it. And you know, doing that, even like, it literally only takes like a few seconds before you go say something. Like, you just look at something, or look at the most basic thing about them, like maybe their shoes or whatever. Go there with like a little line that you come up with in your head, and you say it as naturally as possible. It's gonna seem authentic. It's gonna seem like you didn't plan it beforehand. And then usually that will go on to spark a really good conversation. One thing people don't actually realize is that the first thing you say doesn't actually matter that much. People want to come up with like the best one-liners, the best pickup lines, like to say when you talk to someone, but it's really like, you don't need that. You could go up to someone with like the shittest introduction, be like super awkward, but then 10 seconds later, if you end up having like a really great conversation, if the conversation ends up being really good and like really engaging for both of you, they're not going to be thinking about that first line. They're not going to be thinking about first thing you said. They're going to be thinking about what you like last thing you said, or like what you ended up talking about, you know? No one's going to remember like how you initiated the conversation if the conversation ends up being really good. But if you still want to initiate that conversation in an effective way, like coming up with a plan would be really helpful. Third tip would be to just say something completely silly. One thing that sometimes makes conversation so awkward and so unnatural is that you're trying to put on this persona of yourself that is like, you know, normal. You're trying to make yourself seem like kind of normal in the eyes of this person. When you talk to your friends, right, you don't give a shit about how you're perceived. You don't talk to them like how you would talk to someone randomly on the street, like probably for good reason. But the point is, when you talk to your friends, you don't have that filter. You're not worrying about if they see you as silly or stupid. You're just being you, saying what you want. And the thing is, you don't have to not use this when you're just talking to someone random. Sometimes just randomly saying something weird, or just saying something out of place, like unexpected, can actually be really beneficial for the conversation, because it just makes it so much more like lighthearted and makes them feel way more casual. It makes them feel way more comfortable with you, because they realize that you're not actually taking it serious. You're not taking yourself seriously. And when they see that you're not taking yourself seriously, that can just make it way more comfortable interacting with you. Say something that has a high chance of like just making the conversation seem way more casual. Use your common sense. Like, oh yeah, I had explosive diarrhea last week, by the way. Don't say something like that. So if you struggle with social interaction, the best thing you can do really is just practice. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. But honestly, it is a skill that you can really improve beyond what you think. I've certainly experienced it myself. One good interaction or having one great interaction can seriously boost your social confidence like so much. Just go out there, practice, and have fun.